It's almost 8:15. Welcome back. A lawsuit accuses South Carolina State Senator and candidate for governor Josh Kimbrell of stealing millions of dollars from his business partner. Kimbrell's named in a 16-page civil suit filed by a former business partner. So it claims that Kimbrell stole more than $2 million from him and then used it for his own personal use, even for his political campaign. Kimbrell's wife is also mentioned in that lawsuit. Joining us now again this morning, our chief legal analyst, Khalif Rhodes. All right, so let's kind of start from the beginning when it comes to, I guess, South Carolina political law and campaigns. What are those legal rules, the fine line that govern using corporate funds in political races in either state, really?
Well, it's a couple of things. First of all, they'd have to be your funds, so that's the thing I'd first start with.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, if you are an owner of a business, or you can always make a contribution, an in-kind contribution to your own campaign, but it would have to be money that you've acquired. So it's not corporate funds that's the issue, or I should say that is an issue, because companies can't contribute to a campaign, and they can contribute to a super PAC and a couple other things.
Right.
But a company can't say, you know what, I'm on behalf of my company Exodus, I'm going to write you a check for $5,000. Yeah, that's not allowed. But if you are an owner, like in this company, or a manager, and you're receiving funds as a check or some type of dividends from a company, then you can anytime use those funds, but it has to be your funds. So let's, I think, kind of walk back and talk about how we got here. If he would have taken an Exodus from this company, because that's the name of the company, then we wouldn't be here. The original name of the company is Exodus Aircraft, right? And they're saying that he created a company called Exodus Airways, as they list in here.
So different.
Sham Exodus is what they call it. I thought that was hilarious, right? And they, like you mentioned, they mentioned his name, they mentioned his wife, they also mentioned his banker friend and former colleague that helped create this scheme system, is what they're talking about. And it was intentional. They had the name of the company, Exodus Airways and Exodus Aircraft, to make sure that folks weren't, looking for this major different company that they thought they were using, and that's what they're alleging in the complaint. The people that were using the new airline or company thought they were using the old one. And so that was how you get the conversion. You're converting my company, my businesses, my clients to you in a fraudulent manner. There's a number of other allegations in here: breach of contract, breach of fiduciary trust. He was a manager with the company. So you have a fiduciary responsibility to the original Exodus, not to the new Exodus. And so because you've now breached your fiduciary responsibility, now you put us in a situation where the only way we can get recourse is to get our money back. And so the first thing they're asking for is some type of preliminary injunction. And once again, injunction.
Boy.
It seems to pop up everywhere, right? But that's most of the time what you're seeing in these lawsuits when they get started is going to be an injunction.
Khalif, as you're looking at this lawsuit here, Kimbrell is calling this lawfare, right? Like a political attack against him. If you are defending, or like, which side would you want to be on as you're looking at this? Is this a political attack? Is this sound legitimate? Like, what would you need to know more evidence lined up?
His response is political in nature, so I'll start there. Obviously, with the weaponization of the Department of Justice and lawfare and things like that have come out in the last couple years, specifically with President Trump, that has been the catchphrase from the PR standpoint if you're running for some type of office, to ensure that you're cleaning up that. But if we're looking at it from a specific legal aspect, if we're looking at what's the strength and weakness of the case, these types of cases, you want to be on plaintiff's side. Why? Because it will show in the records. The younger people will say, I got the receipts. Well, if you got the receipts, it'll show. Did you divert clients from our business to your business? Well, they're listing a number of things. You created this company. You're a 50% owner. You've created the name to make it so similarly situated that people will be mistaken, that they think and believe that now you're representing this other company and not this new company, and you're funneling money to there. It will show. If there's conversations, if there's correspondence from a previous client, and they were saying, hey, I want to book or do whatever this company does, and I'm contacting original Exodus Airway, and now you're saying, hey, you still can have our services, and never let them know that now it's not aircraft, it's airway, that's going to be problematic. So it will show, and it will be easy to backtrack and be able to go backwards from the transactions. Look at all the transactions that have ever been utilized from when you started this company to when you created it to today. And if any of those transactions were prior clients of the original company, I think that's pretty cut and dry. It's going to be hard for you to say, oh, no, they just wanted to go with my new company.
What does this do to credibility when you're trying to run for a hotly contested seat?
10, 20 years ago, this would have been devastating. This would have been a death blow to a campaign. I watched the thing about Dean when he ran for president. At the time, Dean was wiping the floor with everyone else in the trail. He screamed and made like a yeehaw type of statement and didn't like have any type of bass in his voice. Campaign flustered, dead on arrival. No one else supported him. That shattered his campaign. Today, something like this, I'm not sure. If his PR does a good job of making this seem like it's an attack and it's lawfare and warfare as opposed to looking at the receipts, it may not hurt him at all.
All right, we'll see where the lawsuit goes for sure. Man, Khalif, all right, a lot to talk about today. It's
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.